All right, guys, 2008 or 9, 10, 7 Kia Optimum. How to change the starter motor. This car is one of my friend's car. His starter died. So what I did was I popped this fuse box here, the cover for the fuse box, and if you look at right here, you have a relay for starter right there. All right. And if you come across here, right here is the relay for the starter. So when you're turning the key inside the car, you can put your hand on this, you will feel it click and you will hear it. Right, the reason why I say you touch this, feel this, because it could be any of these relays clicking, but if you feel it, that's the one. All right, so the starter is right down below this, all right, right under this intake right here. So what I did was I took the wrench from the lug nut wrench from the back of the trunk, and I smacked it, and the car, while he was turning the key, of course, and the car started right up. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna change the starter motor on this car. Let me put that relay box cover onto the side. I know a lot of you guys might not have a lift at home, or you might not be able to lift it, but if you can lift it, it'll be a little bit easier, but even then it's a struggle. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove these two screws right here. We're gonna put this the air duct pipe here, well, air duct, whatever you want to call it. We're gonna take that out, put it away. We're gonna disconnect the battery, of course, very important. Put that to the side so there's no live power into that starter motor. Also, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take off this fan. This fan has a bolt here, probably got a connector. I'm gonna remove this. I'm gonna pull up the hose a little bit. I'm gonna take this fan out of there and just make extra room for you guys. All right, the starter is below down there. I'm gonna take off this intake pipe. I'm gonna be removing this sensor, this hose. I'm gonna pop off these clips right here, and I'm gonna take this whole air duct pipe off. Of course, I'm gonna take off this cover too, number 10, pop this off, and I'm gonna take all this off. And there's probably a 10 down there that connects to the throttle body, this air duct pipe. I'm gonna take that out of here too, and let's start the job, guys. All right, guys, I'm back. I got my camera ready. I'm gonna take this fuse box cover. I'm gonna leave that alone. All right. All right, guys, right here, battery number 10. I'm gonna disconnect the battery. That's the first thing you're gonna do. All right, don't leave this live power on this. All right, so after that, let's come across a little bit right here, and I'm gonna be removing number 10 here, and number 10 right there, and we should be able to pop this out of from there. Right, so there's my number 10s. So I'm gonna take this, put this to the side. While I'm here with number 10, I'm gonna remove this little thing right here. Let me bring my camera a little closer. I'm gonna do two things here next. All right, guys, I'm sure there's a different way to do this starter, but I'm just showing you how to do it. If you don't have a lift, you know, you're gonna just do it from the top. Don't drain the antifreeze, you know. That's the last thing you want to think of. When I take this number 10, put it away. I got my plier here. I'm gonna leave this plier because we're gonna be using it over there. Next, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take off this engine cover here. All right, so two number 10s, leave that one there. It probably got like a little grommet holding this down. All right, so I'm gonna take this cover, put this cover to the side, and what we're gonna do next is, now we have a lot of access, a lot of room here. Right, we have good access here. All right, let's come across here. The camera's just slipping. All right, so what I'm gonna do next is, like I said, there's a hose here. Hopefully you can see this, guys. There's hose right here, vacuum line. I'm gonna remove the clip for that. There's a hose right back right here that connects to the valve cover here. I'm gonna take it on from this end. All right, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove this clip here, probably got a few more clips on this. One clip here, I don't know if there's one back there. Let's see if it comes out. So there is one back here somewhere. All right, I just pushed it away with my thing, with my Need a nose. Alright, what I'm gonna do is I'm also gonna remove this sensor here if I could. You know, these are not, so let's not remove that sensor. What I'll do is I'll just take this and put it to the side to there. Alright. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take off my hoses next. Sometimes you do need to turn these hoses because they're stuck on to the pipes. I'll do the same thing on this end. Alright, there you go. We got both hoses disconnected. Alright. I'm gonna take this number 10 here. Probably gonna need extension. Let me get extension, guys. Alright. There's number 10 down here that connects to the throttle body. Right? Just loosen that off. It's just a clamp that holds this air duct pipe to the throttle body. And most of the time this pipe is very rough to get off. Alright. So there we go, guys. Bam. We got the intake air duct pipe off. So the starter is right there. We can look at it now, right? So what I'll do next is I'm gonna get a zip tie later on, and I'm gonna tie this thing like that. All right. You know what? Let me get a zip tie right now. So I'm gonna take a zip tie and I'm gonna tie this pipe. So we got two zip ties. So I got two zip ties, guys. Let me bring my camera over a little bit. So I'm gonna take this pipe and I'm gonna zip tie it. So this gives me more room, right? Oh God. Should have had another person with me. Bam, all this room, all right? Let me point my camera down here next. What I'm gonna do next, we're gonna remove this fan, all right? Because once we remove this fan, we're gonna have a lot of room here. If you don't need to, don't remove it, but I'm gonna remove it anyway, all right? All you do is press that clip, and the fan has two number 10s. All right, guys. So far, so good. All right, guys. There's number 10 right here on the fan. We'll leave this on the battery. And there's one on the cross side here. Right here. All right. I'll take this. I'll put both of these bolts to the side somewhere. You always want to organize your bolts. You don't want to lose your bolts. All right. I'm going to put my camera here next. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna pull this fan out, right? The fan should just come off. I stuck on down there very hard. Let me take a moment. All right, guys, all the way down there. The fan didn't want to come out because all the way down there, there's like a little retainer here. So all you do is you push that tab and pull the fan up, right? On both sides, in the bottom. All right. There's the fan. In the bottom, there's a tab right here, right? There's a tab right here on both sides. Right, so it's part of the radiator, I believe. So all you do is you push that tab and you pull the fan up. Both sides you need to do that, all right? So we got the fan out. Guys, look how much room we have. Do we need to lift this car? No, we don't need to lift this car. All right, guys, next what I'm gonna do is we got two bolts, all right? Let's do this. We're gonna pop out this transmission dipstick. There you go. We got the hose out of the way. All right, next what we're gonna do is down here, guys, right down there, you have number 14 here and number 14 here. We're gonna remove both of those, and the starter should just come down slowly, all right? And let's see what happens once we remove it. We might need to remove it like a little Alright, let's see. Alright guys, so far it's looking good. And if you need to lift it, like I said, it will lift it. You know, this is the first time I'm doing the start on this car. Let me put my light like up here so you can see better. Alright, let's just come back. Let me get the tools and we'll come back. Alright guys, I got my tool right there. This is the ratchet here, number 14. So this is the bolt right here for the starter. So we're gonna remove this 14 and then there's one down here. Let me just take my camera down so we can see a little better. Alright. So guys, we're looking at number 14 right here. And number 14, which is hard to see a little bit, right up here, right? So number 14 and 14, this circle thing right here is where the starter comes in from. Alright guys, so we have that. Let me just keep working as we talk. So this is the 14 I'm gonna be removing right here, which I got loose already. And then we got number 14 here. When you're working on this, guys, just be careful you don't hit the radiator. Alright, even when you take out the starter, you don't want to damage the radiator. You see how I'm moving the ratchet here? If I go too far, it'll hit the radiator, right? So be careful with that. We still need to take off the cables from the starter, but once it starts to come down and we'll face it up here, we'll remove those cables. Usually it's a good idea to just remove one bolt first and then the second one, because the one that's in there, it will hold for you, right? It will keep the starter in place. Alright guys, it's coming. Bolt is pretty long. I'm not able to do it by hand yet. Alright, that one is completely out. It doesn't want to turn with the ratchet no more. Let me do the same thing with this one. This one is pretty free play already, but I'm not able to turn it by hand yet. Even this one is stiff. Then I'm gonna be getting some power tools, or I guess not. All right, there's the 14 I have out. This is the top bolt. Don't mix them up, guys. They might be different size, you know. I don't know yet. Once you have them out, you can just match them. If they're the same size, good. If not, then just keep them in order. Once I have this bolt out, the starter should be, I should be able to remove the, okay, starter started to move already. So let me just hold it with one hand. All right, it's pretty free already. Just loose, nice and loose. I can do it by hand. All right, guys, it's coming out. Here's the second bolt. So they're the same length, all right? So it wouldn't matter which one goes where. Just keep them somewhere separate. Alright guys, there's a bracket down here, right? There's a bracket down here that connects to this little thing here. Just look down there. You should be able to remove it. I'll show you once I have it out, but I'm not gonna record that part. Alright guys, here's the bracket that was underneath right here. It had two bolts, number 12s, going up from here, which goes into this plastic intake up. So be careful when you take them out. It also gonna have a little clip here you can push and pull out the cable. Then it has two number 12 here. I dropped one bolt in the bottom, but here's 3 bolts and one on the floor. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're number 12, all of them. So that's what you're gonna need. So far you're gonna need number 12. You're gonna need a couple extensions and a number 14 and a needle nose, all right? And number 10, of course. So those are all the tools so far you'll be using. All right, so let's continue. Alright guys, the starter is ready to come out. Just see this big cable? There's a little connector right here under this tape, right? So just remove that right here, right, and like right below the starter body, but it's onto this cable. That's the big fat cable that goes to the starter. That's gonna bother you, so the starter's not gonna come out, right? So just remove that clip. It's like a little retainer here. So what I did was I just spliced it and I'll put a zip tie there because it's hard to get to. So just do that, and now I'm gonna grab the starter and I'm gonna bring out the starter, guys. Moment of truth, all right? After all that work, here's our starter. At this point, just don't hit the radiator, all right? Get a cardboard, put a cardboard here if you need to, because we had done a couple of jobs before in past, and by mistake we hit the radiator. We were changing an alternator on a Chrysler 300, which was crossed on this left side here, and we was bringing it out, and then we dropped it right there. All right, there goes my light. Let me fix my light, guys. There's not too much of a metal in this car. All right, so next what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove this cable. This is the cable coming from the relay. This is a control cable. So don't worry about it. There's no power in any of these cables because remember, we removed the battery, all right? So this is the live power here, right? Which is coming from the battery, right? That's the reason why we disabled the battery there. All right, guys. So let me get my number 12. What I'm gonna do here is, this is number 12, I believe so. If I'm wrong, I'll change it. All right, guys. The starter is ready to come out. This is the original starter in there. This car has over 100,000 miles, so it did its job. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove that number 12. All right, guys. There's the number 12. Hopefully you guys can see all this. All right. So we're gonna reverse the procedure same way, guys. All right. But I do have to wait for the starter. So next, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just pop off that cable, and here's the starter, guys. All right. So number 12 from right here, and the control cable from right here, and the 2/14 went there. When we get a new starter, just match up and just make sure it's the same. All right, guys. We'll wait for the starter now. All right, guys, I lost my light and I got another light now. So we got the new starter here. It has a bolt here. I took off the bolt from right there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the starter. We're gonna, hopefully you can see that, we're gonna put this cable in first. All right, just like that. And then we're gonna put the number 12 on. Again, be careful with your radiator. All right, guys. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna tighten this. All right. There you go. Don't forget to put your control cable in, just like that. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this starter in the bottom inside, just like that. It's hard to see down there because alright, guys, we have that in there. We got the starter in there. Next, we're gonna take our two number 14 bolts and we're gonna put those into the starter. And I'm gonna take a small break and I'm gonna come back and we'll put that in. All right, guys. All right, guys. I know my lighting is bad, so what I got is the starter in there, and I got one bolt in there. And all you do is you grab the starter and you put the bolt in, and you just wiggle it around. All right, and then you're gonna be able to catch the threads, just like that. Once you catch the threads, you're gonna take your ratchet and just turn the bolts. All right. Same procedure, guys, just reverse. Alright, I got one snugged in. I'm not gonna tighten it all the way till I get the second one in. If you need to use power tools, you can use power tools. Again, guys, I'm not gonna stress too much, but be careful with the radiator. I have the old bolt here from the old starter. It's a hell of a long bolt, but you don't have any other option but to just keep going till they're tight. Alright guys, I got this one in pretty much, so I'm gonna just tighten it where I think is just good enough. Don't yank it too much because you don't want to damage the housing. Alright, so what we'll do next is we'll put everything back together, but I do need to put a bracket down there first, and then we'll come back once I have that in and we'll finish up the rest of the job. Alright guys, we got the starter in, and I'm gonna continue this job. Don't forget to release this hose. Alright, just release this hose, and we're gonna put the air duct in next. So what you do is make sure you put the neck into the throttle body, just like that. This should be a simple job. You're gonna put both of the hoses in. All right guys, and what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take number 10 to tighten the bolt down on the throttle body here and the air duct pipe, so it's nice and firm. There you go. This should not come off. I'm gonna go get a clamp tool, needle nose plier, and I'm gonna put these clamps in. And the one back here. Alright guys, so far good guys. Let me put this air filter housing together. Make sure it sits properly, and you put up the clamps, all four of them. Make sure your sensor here is nice and tight. All right guys, we're pretty much almost done, and what we're gonna do next is we're gonna take this fan. All right, this fan, just the way you took out, you're gonna put in. It sits all the way in the bottom. Let me move my camera a little bit back. Just be careful with the radiator. You don't want to damage the radiator. Guys, make sure it sits in the bottom. The fan sits where it's supposed to be, and it should click in. I'm gonna push this down now. You see that? And make sure you do put this connector together, right? Because if you forget, the car's gonna overheat, and you can slide this clamp back, and that's it. If you don't put that in, it's gonna overheat. All right guys, next you're gonna take the two number 10s. You're gonna put both of the number 10s on the fan. One is over here and one is on this side. All right, so what I'll do is I'll gently just tighten these. There you go guys, we got the fan in. Let me keep my camera right here. What I'll do next is I'm gonna put this little fella right here. This one holds the pipe up. If you ever take off a piece like this, make sure you put it back together, because it might hit the fan strut and the fan fins. I have seen I had a Jeep SRT a few weeks back. That thing, they didn't put this type of, there was a mechanism like this and the pipe went down, they didn't put it. And it was hitting the fence and it cut the pipe, all right? The car overheated. All right, guys. Next, we're gonna put this little guy here. This is simple, it just sticks right in there. This sticks in there. All right, guys. And then we have two number 10s that goes right here. Let me get those. We'll put those in next. And we're pretty much done, guys. After this, you can put the engine cover in. That's the last thing I would do. There you go, guys. It's done. Thank you for watching. Subscribe. After this, crank up the car, listen to the car. The starter shouldn't hit anywhere. It shouldn't screech anywhere. Shouldn't make any type of noise like metal to metal. And yeah, don't forget to put in the battery. All right, guys, I forgot to show you guys. You can connect the battery now at this moment. All right, guys, since we disconnected this battery, the throttle body is probably gonna act a little weird on a startup for a few minutes. So just give it a little good time to calibrate itself, and it should be good after that. And don't forget to take all of your tools. And let me put this cover in so you guys can see. All right, this cover goes right in just like that. And we're done, guys. And I need you to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, if you need help with anything else, you can message me. You can ask me anything you like. It doesn't have to be this particular repair. It could be something else. All right, guys, I'm gonna put that together and we're done. All right, thank you for watching. Bye bye.